I want to welcome everyone to the channel. You're watching Texas Silver. I just want to thank everyone for being here. If you're here for the first time, consider subscribing to the channel and then also liking the videos. And for the people that have been here for a while, I appreciate you sharing the videos, liking the videos, commenting down below, all those things. I had a different video that I wanted to put out today, but I'm going to put that one on hold. I think this one's a little bit more important. But for those who follow Jeremiah Babe, if you don't, check out his channel. Great stand-up guy. This guy's walking the walk, probably more so than just about anyone that I know. But anyways, he put out a video, I guess yesterday, and then he mentioned me as well, probably about a week ago, or maybe a little bit less. But this last week for me has been a little crazy, and these things come in threes, so I have a feeling that something else is going to come up. But anyways, if you didn't watch his channel, I'll go ahead and tell you what has happened. So at work this last week, I think it was Tuesday, I got called to a call where a gentleman was unconscious and non-responsive. And so I went in there, got to the scene, and there were a handful of people surrounding this gentleman, and everyone was kind of just like talking to him and just trying to comfort him, I guess, and yeah, keep breathing, staying with him. And so I said, hey, does he have a pulse? And someone there said, yes, but it's faint. And then someone says, but he's breathing. And I had actually helped perform CPR on a fellow officer about a year ago, and I knew exactly, I had seen this before. So the gentleman was breathing, but I don't know what to call it. I'm not a medical professional, but he was gasping for air, and the duration between those gasps for air were not normal. So, you have your normal rhythm of breathing. And so I had gone through a CPR class, a refresher, probably 2-3 months ago, and they brought up this breathing thing, and I was like, I've seen that. I know exactly what you're talking about. So I had seen it once in real life, just had training about it, and then I'm seeing it again. And so at this point, I said, no, he is not breathing. He is dying. He needs CPR. So immediately the lady that was down there next to him started giving compressions. And so, from what I could tell, she was doing good compressions in the timely manner that you're supposed to do this stuff. So she was doing the compressions quick enough, deep enough, everything looked good. Another officer was going to get an AED, which for layman's terms, that's the thing that you put 2 pads on whoever's going into cardiac arrest, and this machine will reads the heart rate, the rhythm, that kind of stuff, and it'll deliver a shock like we see on the movies where the person, jumps, the stand back, boom, it's kind of like that. But so the AED shows up quickly after they've probably gone through 1 or 2 cycles of the compressions. And so I help put those pads, place it on the gentleman's chest, and the machine is reading the heart rate, and it went ahead and delivered a shock or whatever, and then gave instructions to keep doing compression. So the gentleman was going into cardiac arrest. I immediately got on the phone, made sure that an ambulance was en route. And so, I didn't physically, I did the AED, I didn't physically do any compressions or anything like that, but they wouldn't have started CPR if I hadn't gone in there and told them, no, he needs it now. So with my training, my experience, I knew that this man was in a bind and he needed medical attention. And what was crazy to me is, I don't know how true this is, but I was told the lady that was giving compressions was a paramedic, which that kind of blows my mind. I was like, why does it take an officer that has minimal training when it comes to this. I mean, I know basic first aid. I've been through CPR classes, stuff like that. But like, I'm not in any way certified or have any type of medical license. Why does it take me to jar them to take action? And so, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that person just froze up or was just off that day or whatever. But so anyways, shortly after, paramedics show up, fire department, all that, and they take over all the medical care to this gentleman. I checked on him the next day and the following day, and I talked to the cardiologist, and he said, yes, this gentleman absolutely was in cardiac arrest, and he said that our efforts more than likely will save his life. So I don't know. I know he wasn't out of the woods the last time I checked. I told the family members that they could contact me if they had any questions, or just to keep me abreast of what was going on with him. Hadn't heard anything. When I go back to work, I'll probably check and see how he's doing. Hopefully he's still with us. So there was that. Then this last Saturday, I was at Lake LBJ in the Austin area, and there was a huge boat tie-up where you had multiple boats out there that had beached their boats, tied up to each other. It was being sponsored by the company that I purchased my boat from. So I was sitting there just hanging out with my friends, chilling on the boat, and all of a sudden I just hear some commotion and some yelling and some screaming, and all of a sudden I see a boat crashing into another boat, and I was like, wow. I've heard of some road rage, but lake rage is wow, they're taking it to a whole nother level. You've got people crashing their boats into other people because they're pissed off. Well, come to find out, I was watching, and what it was there was a boat that the driver fell off of the boat, and the boat was in gear and was just, driving unmanned on the lake. So it crashed in those boats. Well, it ended up kind of circling around, and there was a boat that was off to my left that was in between me, the other boat, the boat next to me, and then my boat. And so everyone for the boat next to me jumps off of the boat, and I'm just like, no, like, stay in the boat, because this boat is coming literally right for their boat. I thought it was going to hit mine. It missed mine by like 6 feet. But anyways, this lady at the last minute, I have like 5 or 6 people that are swimming, trying to, you're not going to outswim a boat, ladies and gentlemen. If that happens to you, which I probably never will, but stay in the boat. But so this lady just dives, and the boat literally goes over the top of her. And I was just like, wow, I just never thought I would see anything like this. It was crazy. It was like something out of a movie. Anyway, so the boat flies by me, my boat, and crashes on shore, crashing into a couple other boats. People jumped on to that pontoon boat and got it, the engine shut off. So I knew that boat hitting the other boats and then coming around. I was like, there's absolutely no way that no one was not hurt during this. So I started yelling to everyone that was immediately next to me, is everyone okay? And everyone seemed to be okay. So I took off. I took off in the direction of where the first crash had happened. And I get probably 50 yards away from my boat, and I see this gentleman carrying this young lady, and I knew that she wasn't okay. So I started screaming back to my boat for the people over there, and one of the ladies that was with me is a trauma nurse in San Antonio. She's a captain in the Army, and I know they get all the the gunshots, the bad stuff, and so I knew that she would know how to help this this young lady. I am medically trained only so much. I know how to pack wounds, I know how to bandage, stop bleeding, that kind of stuff. But if you have someone that there is medically certified, qualified, I'm gonna step back, give them any help that they need. And so I yelled at her, so she came. So I get over there, and she had brought a friend with her, and he was an EMT, and when people come onto my boat, I always say, this is where the med kit is. I make sure everyone knows where it's at. I have a huge bag that has trauma stuff that will stop bleeding, that will open airways, tourniquets, pressure bandages, just pretty much anything to treat trauma. I've actually had that bag on this channel. I showed it months ago on one of my videos, but wherever I go, I take that bag with me because you never know. So get that girl ashore, got her laid out on a towel, and I didn't really get a good look at her injuries because, you know, they were kind of half wrapped with wet towels and this and that and the other. And so there was 4 or 5 nurses that were around her, surrounding her, and I was just like, what do you need? I just ripped my bag open, and they were like, we need gauze. Boom, here you go. We need pressure dressings. They asked for a tourniquet at one point. I guess the bleeding, either they got it stopped or didn't feel that it was bad enough that she needed it. But so anyways, there's a couple lessons that I'm going to get to on this, but I just wanted to let you know kind of what had happened. So they got her bandaged up, had her laid down, they had her covered because obviously it was hot, it was sunny, they were trying to keep her cool, keep her calm. And so I guess a friend of hers had got hit too. His foot and his buttocks had gotten hit by the prop, and I guess it was her arm, her back got hit by the prop, and I think her hand was gashed too. So I don't know what all she got hit by. I don't know if some of that was boat, some of it was prop, but she was obviously the worst off. But they got direct pressure, they got her bandaged up, but it took, I want to say, 20 to 25 minutes for game wardens to show up. And then probably about 5 minutes later, we saw a helicopter land in the distance, and then because we were on an island, so they had to bring the fire department, EMS personnel over on boats. But it was, I want to say it was 25, 30 minutes before medical personnel got there. And so these are the points that I wanted to hit home. There were probably 50 boats out there, and as far as I know, I am the only boat that had a trauma kit on board. Wherever you go, I am going to highly recommend having a trauma kit with you that you can open someone's airway. You know, if you have a sucking chest wound, be able to treat that, be able to plug bullet holes, be able to stop bleeding, those kind of things. So you need pressure dressings, tourniquets, and also you need the training to use this stuff. It's great to have all these different gadgets and toys and, you know, stuff like this, but if you don't know how to use this, if you haven't trained with it, it's worthless to you. Same with your medical stuff. So take a basic first aid class, learn how to stop bleeding, learn how to treat gunshot wounds. You know, there's different things that you need to learn. So I let the ladies take over, but I know that you want to start with direct pressure when it comes to bleeding. If you can't get it stopped then you need to look at elevating, you know, whatever's bleeding. So if their arm's bleeding out, you want to elevate that. That'll slow down the bleeding. Also, you have pressure points. If that doesn't work, you can start doing pressure points. And then the last thing that you want to do is, you know, tourniquet. That's the last thing that you want to do. But like, I know these things. So I could have worked on this young lady if I had to, but I had professionals there. So I was just like, hey, what do you need? And I was just handing medical stuff to them, and they got her bandaged up. So just know that life can change in an instant. You know, everyone was having a great time. I never expected for something like this to ever happen. I even kind of like, man, why do I bring this bag every time? And all this did for me was solidify why I bring this stuff, why I have the training that I have. And, you know, these ladies went to work immediately, which was great. And so that just shows their level of training and all that. And another thing, so when I went back to the boat, one of the girls that was on the boat, you know, I kind of explained what happened. She's like, oh my gosh, like, how'd you deal with that? And at the time, I didn't really have an answer. And I don't remember what I told her. I just was like, hey, man, when someone needs help, you just, you know, you do what you need to do. So my son's coming in. Hey, I'm making a video, bud. All right. So I've had time to think about it, and I have an answer for her now, how I was able to be calm and immediately take action. And it's because I've trained over and over and over, and I've seen this stuff. And so if you don't train, if you're unprepared, and I've mentally trained myself, that I just knew that someone needed my help and that I was going to take action. So there was no time to second guess anything. I just did what I needed to do. So there's that. And so that's why there's the importance of training, because I've trained so many times with this. I knew what to do and I took action. But if you've only seen something one time and you've only trained once, then you're gonna lose that muscle memory. The same thing why you go to, I've started doing the jiu-jitsu thing. It's because you're gonna revert back to your training. And if you don't have any training or very little training, then you're just gonna freeze and you're not gonna take action. And so another thing that I took away from this, life is so fragile, so short, and how no one was killed is beyond me during this. But we all think that we're going to live to be a ripe old age of 80, 90 years old, but we never know when the man upstairs is going to call you home. So just make sure that your house is in order, because you never know when something's going to happen to you. I'm sure that young lady that got hit by this boat never thought that that was going to happen today. I sure didn't think, or that day, and I sure as heck didn't think it was going to happen that day. And so you just need to always be prepared, and I'm not here trying to preach. Just know that any second you could be taking your last breath. And I think that lady would have survived even if I wasn't there with all that medical stuff, but it could have been a lot worse. And in that medical kit, I have multiple tourniquets and this and that, and people have asked, why do you have so many? And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if someone gets wounded in their leg, whether it's a gunshot or something from a boat prop, it may take a minimum of 2 tourniquets to stop that bleeding. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if someone gets hit by a prop, 2 legs might get hit. So that's why I want to have multiples. I never even thought, it could have easily been a dozen people that got hit by that boat and had injuries. And if I had 1 or 2 tourniquets, there might have been lives that would have been lost because I didn't have enough stuff in there. And obviously that's not on me, but that's why you want to have redundancy. There's that thing that's 1 is none and 2 is 1. And in this situation, I think I have 8 to 10 tourniquets in there and other pressure dressings and pressure dressings and stuff like that. So get a trauma kit. Get with your friends and family. See if anyone they know are in the medical field. Maybe you get some training and maybe they have some equipment and stuff that they can give you. That's what I did. Most of the stuff that we actually used on that young lady, my friend gave me the week before. And so I had other stuff in there, but pretty much everything she gave me, we ended up using on this young lady to help treat her and get her life flighted out of there. So I saw on the Facebook post, she thanked everyone for all their help, and I think she's going to make a full recovery. She's going to be fine. But I know that could have been way worse. So I thank God that everyone is going to be okay. I'm sure she's probably going to have some scars and maybe some nerve damage, but other than that, I think she's going to make a full recovery. So please take this stuff seriously. Make sure you're training. Make sure you're buying these things, but also know how to use them and know how to take action. You don't want to freeze up when something's going down, when a family member or friend of yours has been hurt and needs your help. And because you haven't trained, you haven't prepared, you're not able to work on that person. So I hope everyone gets something from this video. Thank you for being here. I have another video I'm going to drop in a couple days. But I felt this, again, was more important. I needed to get this out to y'all. So thank you for being here, for the support, liking the video, sharing the videos, commenting down below. I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all take care. God bless, and Texas Silver is out.